In 1964, Eddie Wilson had it all. He had genius, he had vision, and he had the hottest rock and roll band in the country. Then suddenly, one night, his car went off a dark New Jersey bridge. His body was never found, but his dream was never lost. And 20 years later, the mystery of Eddie Wilson begins to unravel. Tonight is the first of a 2-night collaboration between Last Call and Big Al Presents as we look back on the music of Eddie and the Cruisers and try to solve the mystery of whatever happened to Eddie Wilson. So top off your glasses and get comfortable. The Canarble Wagon rolls right now. Salud. Oh, welcome everybody. So good to see y'all. This is going to be a good one. I've really been looking forward to this. Let's start out with Aged Boomer's not going to be with us tonight. He's got some personal things to take care of. I gave him the night off. I told him I'll just work you extra hard next week. So, but anyway, let me bring in my lovely bouncer. Netter of Netter's Network. How you doing, sweetie, and what you sipping on?
I'm doing great. I'm a little sore because I was doing some in-depth cleaning today, and so my shoulders and my legs hurt from all the standing out and moving stuff around that I was doing.
I'll be happy to give you a massage later, but what you sipping on now?
I'm not sure if it actually has a name. It's pineapple juice and
Malibu rum. Yeah, coconut. Yeah,
coconut rum. Yeah, it's really good together.
It's not a pina colada, but it's something in that family. I'd like to think.
So now, did Agent Boomer have PTO saved up for that?
Yeah, he has plenty of PTO. He's always been rock solid for us. So I think he deserves. But let me not keep our very special guest waiting tonight. Although he's probably got to be sick of us by now. It's of course Big Al. Big Al Presents. How you doing, buddy? And what you sipping on?
Hello, sir. Hello, lady. I am drinking some Mountain Dew. I can't really do alcohol and medications I take, so I just do the dew.
Okay, Al, you better check your mic. It sounds like you're really fuzzy and you're breaking up a little bit. And it's like a connection thing, not internet connection. Okay, I'm guessing you unplugged, so you got to plug back in. Okay? You just muted. I didn't mute you. You muted yourself. Or you unplugged. I'm not sure which. We'll give Big Al a minute to get his... You there? Okay, I'm not hearing you at all now. Okay. Oh, and he dropped out completely. He'll be back. In the meantime, let's say hi to the chat. First person I'm seeing here, of course, is my lovely wife, Netter of Netter's Network, who dropped the Cosme link, which is pinned to the top, so that you can watch along with us the film tonight. There we go. How's that?
Hello, is that any better?
A little bit better, at least a little bit, but there's some scratchiness going on.
Yeah, it's not quite connecting.
Yeah.
Are you plugged in all the way? Because you were fine in the green room, and now it's
something. Yeah, I mean, you were a little quiet, but I could turn my volume up, but I don't know what happened there.
Well, in the green room, he's coming through loud and clear.
Yeah. But first person I'm seeing in the chat, besides a panel member, is Connie Cleary. So glad to see you, my friend. You are... always such a joy to see there. And so Connie's saying hello to everybody. Deleted scenes coming, giving us a wave. And of course he starts dropping all the links. So too is Lady Mist. She's wielding that new blue wrench of hers, and I super appreciate her so much for that. Thanks so much.
We also got Dee Pensek. And Mad and Nui and Evelyn Hampton.
I'm getting there. I'm
missing some of my high school in here.
David Pensek says hello to everyone. Of course, Evelyn Hampton. Good evening, everybody. Good to see you. Matanui. Always good to see you, my friend. Probably won't be here too long. That's fine. I totally understand. I totally hear you. And Gorilla Random Thoughts. They can't stick around, but stopping to say hi, super appreciate it, my friend. Yeah, I totally get that. Okay, Al, how we doing on the sound? I'm not getting anything.
Don't hear anything.
Let me try something.
Okay, wait. I'm hearing you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound really good now.
Okay.
What did you just do?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I hate to say this, but try not to move. And so I guess I should probably ask the chat, do we all sound okay? I know Netter's probably going to sound a little bit quieter. She's sitting a little farther away from the mic. We're still trying to work that out a little bit, but how about Al? How's Al sound?
How am I sounding to all you rock and roll
there you
lovers
go.
out there?
Little bit distant from the mic, from his microphone. Yeah, you do seem a little quiet, but you sound way better than you did.
I rarely have. Well, that sounds a little bit. I'm gauging by the little avatar circle thing. Let me do something. Give me a minute. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. If you have to drop out, and I'll bring you back in. That's not a problem. I certainly understand. These things happen. But yeah.
Y'all remember on my stream last night when I was talking about being a new YouTuber and all that? Technical difficulties is one thing we didn't touch on.
Yeah,
they
that's
happen.
True. That's true. But you know what? I think people know that they see it happen to the big channels too. So I mean, we live with it. It happens. But so anyway, I know that if we hadn't been so distracted and things going on, someone would have asked me what I'm sipping on.
What are you sipping on?
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you asked. So in honor of Eddie and the Cruisers, I'm having a dark side that is 2.5 ounces gin, 3/4 ounce of Bolero Chianto, 3 dashes of bitters, and it's garnished, of course, with a drunken cherry. So it's kind of it's kind of a martini. I mean, gin makes it a martini, right? It's a gin-based drink, so. But I haven't even tried it yet. I mixed it up, but I haven't tried it, so let's see how it is.
And it's stirred, not shaken.
Gin is always stirred. You don't shake gin.
Yeah, it's like otherwise you're bruising the gin. So how is it, dear?
It's interesting.
Okay, now I got to taste.
I might have gone a little heavy on the bitters, but it's kind of fruit forward. I thought it would all cover up the juniper, but it still comes through. I kind of like it.
Okay, I think it's awful, but then again, I don't like gin.
But it's strong.
Oh, it is so strong.
It is
the vapors went down my throat, and for a second, I couldn't breathe.
Well, then you know how it was that one time I tried the straight Everclear. Whew, I thought I was gonna die. Let me say hi to JPR PH1. Comes in and says, "Hey, folks," with a wave. Thanks so much for being here. Okay. So, we are going to be, oh, wait, Matanuli. All right, I got ahead. Wow, yeah, you really did. You said you wouldn't be able to stay long. Have a great, have to get up tomorrow. Matanuli, I understand. We all
got to get up tomorrow.
But, well, no, he probably means earlier.
How's that?
That sounds beautiful. Do you now know what you did?
Yeah, I know exactly what I did.
What happened?
I clicked the settings by mistake, and somehow my audio got dropped down. So I just
you mean in StreamYards?
Yeah, on the StreamYard setting.
Yeah.
So I am now at full volume, baby.
Yes, you are. So just to share, peek behind the curtain, we were talking on Netter's Network about, becoming a YouTuber, streaming, all that kind of stuff. In StreamYards, and I'm sure this is true of all the other, apps that, people stream through, when you go into your microphone, if you have multiple microphones, you got to choose which microphone you're going to use. And then you got to you have the ability to change the volume, and you also have abilities to filter out noise, like the cat purring in the background and But if you want the clearest sound, just keep your environment quiet. Put it to full volume and, adjust accordingly. And that's what Al's talking about. That's what he was having an issue with. So
okay, I got to read D. Pensex's comment. He said, here's to you for trying that, Netter's Network. That's a girl.
Okay,
she tried it, yeah.
Was that you? Was that you that just roboted a little Troy? You kind of disappeared for a second.
I might have done.
You're the only one that... Yeah, you're the only one that kind of zipped out a little bit.
Okay, Netter, say something for him.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
You sound
fine. Roboting too? I mean, it's the same.
No, not
mic.
roboting now, but your mouth is not matching the audio. You're out of sync.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird. Because it looks fine for me in StreamYard. I wonder if that's just an internet thing.
It looks like it's resyncing. It looks like it's catching up. So I think you're okay now.
Fair enough.
Leah
Rose, how you doing? Hello, Troy. Thanks so much for being here. And, of course, Keely Chow saying hi to D. Pensek. I may have missed it. Oh, yeah, I see. You've been here for a little while. Sorry. Crazy night. But
hey, Stephen Ransom.
I would say a wild summer night, but it's not summer yet. So, but Stephen Ransom just passing through. Yeah, I appreciate all of you guys, even if you can't stay. You stop in to say hi.
Don't forget to hit the thumbs up.
Yeah, that is incredibly encouraging. I super appreciate it. If you could share out the stream, I'd super appreciate that. So let's get into this. So I've been playing kind of tongue in cheek because this was how the marketing went for this film. They played it off as though Eddie and the Cruisers was a real band, and they were playing on the whole Eddie Wilson disappearance, or they never found a body, all this kind of stuff. Playing like that whole urban legend about what's his name, Morrison from the Doors, Jim Morrison. Like he didn't really die, he faked his death and all this kind of stuff. I think that was the inspiration behind this story, but it is a film. What year was it?
83.
83.
The year I graduated high school.
There you go. So it was 1983, and the marketing was played as though this was a docudrama. But
and a big thing I think that really hurt it was that it was geared towards teens, but the distributor they something got screwed up. And it didn't release until September once kids were back in school.
Oh, that's killer.
And it killed it. And nobody really went to go see it. It wasn't until it hit cable that it really found its audience.
And that was one of the things we were talking about on Netter's Network last night was this how a film or maybe it was on Pops. I don't remember. I was on a couple streams this week, but how is it that a film becomes a cult classic? There's a lot of different ways, and I think later in the year we might be doing a watch party of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Am I right, Al?
I think it's a good possibility.
And when we do, we will talk about why and how that film became a cult classic.
It's astounding.
Yes. But it's not entirely different from what happened with this. It has to do with how well a movie does in its initial launch in theaters and what happens with it subsequently. So this happened with a lot of films in the 80s. You guys have all heard me talking about the dawn of cable, how there used to not be cable, and then we were one of the first houses to get cable, and then when cable became a thing, there wasn't a lot of content. So they would license movies from all these different companies, and usually they were films that weren't big blockbusters. So if they didn't make a lot of money at the theater, oh yeah, licensing to cable would be a great way to recoup some of our losses. So you ended up... Go ahead.
You didn't get Star Wars. You didn't get Jaws. You didn't get like the big summer hits.
At least not for a lot of years.
Not for a while. It was the little 2.5-star films that kind of ended up on cable. They saved the other ones for network television, and network paid out of the nose for them. So
right. So what cable did was, because they didn't have a lot of content, if they licensed something, usually not for a great deal of money, they'd put it into the rotation. And that rotation could be, as soon as the movie ended, they'd play it again. You know, you could end up getting that. Or if you missed it from noon to 3 or noon to 2, and there was another movie after it, wait 2 hours, they'll play it again, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Or, hey, let's see what's on right now. Oh, it's Eddie and the Cruisers again. And
if it was a PG film, chances are it was on
all
3 times
long.
a day.
Yeah. So I remember, the one that I remember from the very first year we had cable was it called Firefox with Clint Eastwood?
Oh, yeah. That was a good
That one played over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
And I have not seen it since. I got to be honest with you. That's one maybe I'm going to have to add to my collection, because that's...
some films just disappear. You remember, and that's kind of why I do some of the films I do. Mm-hmm. Just the little weird films I love and haven't seen in a while. And just now, like I said, Logan, like when we did Logan's Run, you don't see Logan's Run on TV that often.
Not anymore, yeah.
So, you
and a lot of these older, I guess you call them cult favorite type films, you'll find now on Tubi or whatever. It's kind of filling that niche that cable, when it first started, kind of did, you know?
Or like, if you like sci-fi films that used to be on Sci-Fi before they changed to Sci-Fi. Thankfully now, Comet TV has taken the charge in that. You see those little kind of cult classic kind of films. You could see Logan's Run on Comet TV.
Yeah. So David Pensek says, I was working at a record store at the time this hit. It was one of the soundtracks with pop songs that hit big. Yeah. We'll definitely be talking about that as we get into it. I do remember, and Al, it's okay to correct me if my memory's faulty, because I may have confabulated a lot of things since then. But I seem to remember that not only did they market this as though this was like based on a true story, nowhere anywhere in the film does it say based on a true story, none of that. But it felt like that in the marketing because of the way they marketed it, kind of the way my opening introduced it.
Yeah, a little bit. Looking back, I knew what it was because I heard about it, read about it. But if you don't put based, not based on true events or something like that, it definitely can. At least upon once you see the film, it's not, because it's very much a film.
No. You were not in From Noon Till 3. That was Charles Bronson. Oh, gosh. That's deep cut there. Good one, though. Good one though, Steven.
I thought that was 10 to midnight. Oh, no,
yeah.
That's another Charles Bronson film.
Right.
Well, at least you didn't get stuck seeing Porky's like every 2 hours.
Porky's. Well, that one didn't play during the daytime though, right? That played after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
like,
I think because I had to stay up late in order to.
8 o'clock, or sometimes they might put a film like that on at no earlier than 10.
There you go.
They'd have the 8 o'clock PG film, and then like 10 o'clock they'd have those
and I know that
teen films.
And I know that Tom Connors over at Midnight's Edge has all the different bumper music from HBO that we all remember from during the daytime, and then the ones at night, after Watershed and so forth. Those are some great fuzzy memories.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my memory, and I remember seeing it on cable. So I didn't see it like right away at the theaters, and honestly, I was a dumb kid. I was, let's see, this was, what'd you say, 82, 83?
It came out in the 83, September 83.
Yeah, I was still in grade school at the time.
I was just going into college.
Yeah, you were a couple years ahead of me. And I was still in grade school, and I remember believing that this was a real story. And the reason I did, I was in a very vulnerable position, because not only did I receive the marketing and take it at face value, but I also had this knowledge of Jim Morrison and the stories about him, and I kind of conflated the two in my mind and thought this was that, and so I just ran with it, and I was like, man, can you believe this? And his music's coming back in style, and I gotta check it out. And that's the other thing about the music. We'll definitely talk about this more as we get into the film, but the music has that very Jersey style, that very fans of like Bruce Springsteen kind of get what I mean when I say that Jersey style, right? But it could very easily have been from the early 60s, but obviously a lot of this was all new music for this. And yes, I know people have joined, and I wanted to say hi to CK Culture Kitsch. Oh, so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you enjoy. And of course, Adega Outlaw. Hey, hi. Good to see you, my friends. So, you know what? We've gone on, and we can certainly talk more as we get into the film. Let's go ahead and cue it up. Al, we're starting right from the lion, right?
Yeah, right at 0.
There you go. Okay. Boosh McFadden's here somewhere?
Yep, just came in, and longest running superhero RPG on Earth, also known as CK.
You must be watching on the YouTubes, because StreamYard is like a few seconds behind on the chats.
Yeah, that's why
it does
I
lag a little
YouTubes.
bit.
Sorry, logged into the wrong account. Oh, that's fair. We're just about to get started. So so if you don't have your own copy of Eddie and the Cruisers, and you should, and I'm guessing it's probably streaming somewhere, but I didn't really look to see where it might be streaming. But doesn't matter, because if you just right at the top of the chat there, Netter's comment links to the Cosme link. So I'm hosting the movie off platform, so you can watch along with us, and just do it in another tab so that we can still chat with you, and we can still you can still hear our commentary. So yes, I am starting from the 0 mark. First thing we'll be seeing is the MGM Lion. So I'm guessing this must have been distributed by MGM. So I guess that's a pretty good assumption.
Well, they eventually got it.
So we'll be starting in a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah. Have they changed that? Because that is classic, and I hope they never do.
I don't think they did, though.
I saw behind the scenes and how they did it too.
Yeah, I did too. I saw that. It's on YouTube. You can
Embassy
see it.
Pictures.
Let me make sure my volume's up. Yes, it is. Okay.
Any of the cruisers. Any of the cruisers.
Right. It even has that, biopic, concert movie type of opening to it,
Yeah.
So, again, I'm doing this in conjunction with Big Al for his Michael Pare March. So, of course, this is Michael Pare. He's not actually singing. This is the voice of John Cafferty. John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
Yep.
This is absolutely, without a doubt, one of my favorite soundtracks of the 80s.
It was a fantastic soundtrack.
So, Eddie and the Cruisers soundtrack. Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives. Sorry, spoiler for this movie. And and a third album that was called The Lost Tapes, which is different versions of some of the songs from the two movies, clips from the movie, as if it was something released after his death, or studio recordings or whatever.
Yeah, because that's kind of what the film, a big part of the film is trying to find an unknown recordings.
Right.
Of Eddie Wilson and some other things that are going on. But,
I love the saxophone in this.
Yeah.
Hi, Vagrancy Horror.
The Vagrancy.
Anything, it's okay.
Just stopping by on break at work. Good evening, all. It's even bigger now. I love it. Well, yeah, it would be because it was just released.
And the guy who plays Wendell on sax is actually a member of the Beaver Brown Band.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, the singer's got crazy eyes when he's singing.
Yeah, kinda.
Michael Pare could get those little weird eyes sometimes.
This is the setup.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Pacific 414, how you doing tonight?
Good to see you. Thanks for being here. So Ellen Barkin, I gotta say, I was really kind of into her in the 80s.
She had a look about her.
She did. She didn't. It's not that classic beauty. It's just that modern novelty, right?
It's those eyes.
Yes, that would be. Oh, I lost the comment when I wanted to talk about. Yes, the girl from Buckaroo Banzai, Penny something. I think is the character's name.
Yeah, I can't remember the full name.
But yeah, wow.
But you were mentioning about Jim Morrison and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I was really into in the early, well, I don't know about how into I was, but it was the early 80s when I remember being exposed to the Paul McCartney is dead theory.
Yeah.
And hearing these documentaries or
right
proof that Paul is really dead, and just finding it fascinating. And then VH1 started doing behind the music, so I just always loved that kind of deep dive into the background of a classic.
So you understand how that could get cross-wired in my brain, right?
Yeah.
So CK here is saying, I recognize Eddie, Michael Pare from Greatest American Hero and Philadelphia Experiment. We were talking about that earlier in the week. I don't remember if Al and I were talking about it backstage or on one of the streams, but I pointed out Michael Pare was the head sweat hog, if you will, in Greatest American Hero. And he was the star of Philadelphia Experiment.
Yeah, he's still out there, still doing movies. Just cool little B movies that you find every now and then.
Tom Berenger. Think about that. You're in a band that had a lot of popularity. You've gotten out of the business. You're flipping through the radio and you just hear that one of those hits from your old days.
Loud Summer Nights.
Yep. God, I love this soundtrack. Now you see what I'm talking about? How this could very easily have been 1963. But it's that Jersey sound that was perfectly 80s too.
Yeah, because in the 80s, there was that whole 60s, 70s kind of
a nostalgia trend.
Yeah, nostalgia trend.
That was partly, I think, because of Happy Days and stuff like that. American Graffiti, I know I went through it. I wore a jacket like that. I wore a DA or an 80s version of it. I thought this was, unreal, a fiction. Came to realize it was more real than I realized. People that that wrote music and performed music, even pop music, rock and whatnot, classically trained. They know poetry, they know literature.
Oh, yeah. Their brain is just wired differently.
Yeah. Some of these, heavy hard rock bands, you find out, they were trained as concert pianists or something like that. It's like, what? Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's why I do this. It's like opportunity to get everyone together and watch it together. You didn't get a chance to see it before, watch it now. And this was the other thing. They peppered in, late 50s, early 60s hits, too. Which really, cements and underlines, where it's supposed to be coming from.
Tony Mart. The Jersey Shore, summer of 62.
57 Chevy Bel Air.
That is
my dream car.
That is a beautiful car, man. I even love the
Solid car. Solid. You hear it when they close the door.
Yeah, old cars like that.
Yeah.
They were built.
Yep. Del Shannon, absolutely. My little runaway. Pay attention to how they play the younger versions of themselves and the older versions of themselves.
And they look
done younger.
Well. Yeah, they pull it off very well.
Joe Pantoliano, when you see him, his transformation is amazing.
Why?
He really was a good-looking guy. I never really noticed that before.
Berenger?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always been a good-looking guy.
The only reason that, kind of jumped into my head, because I remember my mom saying that. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, Ma. And I look now and I'm like, okay, yeah, I kind of see what you're saying.
Now, when you were young and your mother would say something like that, did it kind of freak you out a little bit?
Nah, my mom and I were pretty simpatico. We were pretty.
I still remember my mother and I were eating dinner in a Chinese restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, you know what song I really like? I'm like, what? She goes, that Whip It song from Devo. That's still in my head. It's like, you like Devo?
My mom and I pretty much listened to all the same music. Literally music from the late 40s to whatever was current. She was up on the current music. I was up on all of her music. Mm-hmm. And she sent me to a Catholic grade school. And I remember coming home talking about how, Madonna was really popular. And one of the nuns thought it was really awesome that one of the popular singers was going by the name Madonna. And my mom just burst into laughter. She's like, never heard any of her songs or seen her, huh? I said, I'm assuming not. Betty Lou's got a new pair of shoes. Wow, wow. And tell me this isn't the kind of song you totally see coming from 1962, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I like that, Sir Torrin. That's awesome. My mother used to drive me up the wall about John Stamos. I swear, every time he'd be on Full House, like every episode, oh, that's Blackie. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I know he's Blackie. Can we just, he's Uncle Jesse now. Oh, Jesse, that was Elvis's twin brother. I know, Mom. Can we watch the show?
This is like the only film she did one other film, but she's been primarily in Germany.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wondered that because she was really cute and she was good.
She really never did anything else.
But see, I love this scene for exactly this reason. He goes out of his way to ask the girl. She's got a brain, right? Then he asks the guy sweeping up too.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because many advisors make victory assured. With cesarean. Listen. Say sure. Listen to this, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's got class. That's where I learned the term caesura before I learned it in music class.
But I like that they're already setting him up as the temperamental perfectionist.
Yes.
It has to be right. And you see a lot of that sometimes in a lot of performers.
Well, I think a lot of you guys know I listen to or I watch the YouTube channel Professor of Rock. And you get a lot of stories like that. You get to understand the background of some of your favorite bands and whatnot.
So, Torrin.
Hey, sweetie.
Oh, which connection is that? I'm sorry. I said a bunch of things and
Ellen Barkin sitting on my desk like that would be a bit distracting. Hi, lady.
I'd want to drop that gun belt and... Sorry, wrong movie.
Are you talking about Seal of Love?
I don't remember. I plead the fifth.
Pacino.
Sorry, I feel like a little lost about a lot of these things. Is he really singing? No. Okay, so Michael Pare, the actor playing Eddie Wilson, is not actually singing. He's lip syncing to John Cafferty of John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band does all the Eddie Wilson songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, just like Michael J. Fox when he did Johnny Be Good. So many other songs, yeah. But he is so convincing, and he does it so well.
It looks like it sounds like it comes from his face.
Yes.
It's like that's what he would sound like.
And when you see, tell me if you think I'm wrong, Al, but when you see John Cafferty performing these songs, you're like, that voice doesn't sound right coming from that body, you know?
This looks like Michael Pare.
I know.
Elongated living. That's why I used to go living in a trailer.
Yeah.
I appreciate trailers, but they are flimsy little things. Dun dun dun.
My. Season in Hell.
Was he robbed?
Well, they were looking for something.
Yeah.
CK makes a great point. He says, oh, wow, it really sounded like him to me. Yes, the singing voice and the speaking voice match. And not enough times do they do that when they sync up an actor with, a musical talent. That thing that he's got his ashtray sitting on, that's called a typewriter. It's what we used to use to write, and type before we had computers and word processors.
Instead of screens, we had pieces of paper.
And if you made a mistake, the whole page had to go and start over again.
Unless you were lucky to have that little smelly white stuff.
That IBM thing, yeah. That was later. Here we go. You guys recognize Joe Pantoliano? Where have you seen him before?
I know where I've seen him before.
Mockingbird, yeah. And look at, that's not his hair. Mm-hmm. At least not then. I mean, it kind of is now, actually. That's the other thing. You see a picture of him today, he kind of looks like this.
He balds out a lot now. You see him go bald a lot now.
Yeah.
Of course, they've always played with the hair thing. If you remember the Goonies.
Bingo. Yes, he was Cypher from the Matrix. Absolutely right. That's what I was thinking. I mean, he's been in a lot of things. There's a lot of other things you could say that,
Like I said, he was in the Goonies. He was really, a lot of fun with that.
And it was a lot of years before I could appreciate all of this, talking about rights of songs and stuff like that. But the writer of this movie really thought these things through.
Yeah, well, it was based on a guy's novel that he wrote, 88 Cruisers.
Was it really? I did not know that, Al.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me find his name here. P.F. Klug.
Oh yeah, Tom Berenger was in Major League. Tom Berenger was in a lot of great movies, a lot of great B films that people haven't seen. What was the one where he played a teacher in a rough school? Oh, this is my favorite song off the album, Tender Years.
Oh, what was that film? Now I'm. Was it like The Substitute? Or am I thinking of something?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. You're right.
Is that what it was? Platoon.
Okay, so you see the wrinkles? You see the wrinkles here? You know how they do that? They coat his face with something called rigid collodion. You put it on, it's really got a lot of strong alcohol smell, and as it dries, it kind of puckers your face up a little bit. Me out on the boardwalk tonight. Oh, I knew deleted scenes would get The Substitute.
Yep.
I love that movie. I love that movie. That's a good one. Well, I appreciate you, giving this a try. That's my goal, is to expand the horizons, share some things that I've enjoyed that maybe some others would enjoy,
That's how I got to watch Heartbreak Ridge.
That's how I got into watching Heartbreak Ridge. Absolutely. Yeah, 50 stuff. My mom got me into all of that stuff. So when Happy Days was, became popular, I was all about that, I would say Happy Days got me into Mego action figures as much as the world's greatest superheroes. I mean, in my mind, Fonzie kind of was a superhero, See, happened to him too. Well, that's probably not a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but who is they? Or what are they looking for?
You say that when you don't even know who it is, It's true.
No, he just asked
Who
the
is
question.
that? The other thing is, this is also of its time, because if this kind of scenario happened in the modern day, this isn't how it would go down. Because, I mean, look, when Prince died, somebody inherited his, vault of, unreleased stuff and whatnot.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
It's known, right? And somebody's trying to capitalize on it right away.
Smoking in a movie? Shocking.
And that's a very interesting point, because when someone's smoking, it kind of dates the story.
Mm-hmm.
So listen to that, right? He's playing this very beautiful classical styled piece, and you realize how talented he is. Then you see those legs and you realize how talented she is.
No, she was just born that way.
Well, yeah, but she knows how to walk. She's got legs, she knows how to use them.
It's the heels.
The
You
heels
have to
help.
walk like that
That
with
is
the
true.
heels.
No, you are right. That French twist in her hair. Fonzie had powers, he fought Mork. That's absolutely right. Although They did write that so that it was just a dream sequence, but yes, you're right.
But it wasn't, as we all found out.
Well, yeah. You know, I told my mom that my peers didn't like drinking either. She knew I was full of crap. I'm not saying your kids are full of crap. I'm just playing around.
Is that the Rimbaud poet that they're talking about?
I think so, yeah. I was kind of caught up in the smile there.
Yeah, it is a bit. But if you look up a picture of the poet that they talk about, like from the late 1800s, he looks like Michael Pare.
Ah, that's funny. And you notice he's smoking Marlboros, not Morley's.
Yeah, because back then they used real cigarettes.
Morley's goes back way before this. It could very well have been product placement. I don't know. See, I love how this character's written, right? Because he's not well educated, but he's got this natural understanding of his art. You know, he doesn't understand big words like caesura, but he understands the concept intuitively.
Yeah, and plus he's also talking. He was just talking about he wants music like you can wrap it up. He's talking. He wants that timeless.
Yes.
Kind of music. He wants it.
I don't want to write for modern audiences. I want to write for all audiences.
Right.
And this kind of speaks to how many bands have broken up over the years, and one or two people go off and they try to keep the music alive, and they're living in the past, living off the past successes and stuff. I'm looking at you, Roger Waters. Just saying.
Hey, sometimes you got to make money to eat.
Well, just was it last week or the week before? My mind goes, but Big Al did Streets of Fire, Michael Pare, which is an 80s noir. Very much so. Tim Hayes, good to see you, my friend. Thanks so much for being here. If you want to watch the movie along with us, just click on, right click on that, up there at the top of the chat. Jump right in where we're at. We're watching Eddie and the Cruisers. We're a little more than a half hour in.
Ellen Barkin does have that face you could just look at. just like...
And this just hurts. And this is the way it is with cover bands. And he's purposely doing it, right? He's over the top, the way cover bands would be. here's how the song, in the story came into existence. And you see the band is kind of like laughing at him. Because he doesn't know how to sing, really.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what he's doing, it's just...
Right. He just doesn't have the...
At least not for singing. He's a piano player. And Eddie can look past that. See that? Eddie's looking past that. He sees the potential.
He's hearing the song, the lyrics, the music, and
they're patronizing him. Not bad. Words and music. Three chords and the truth. Do 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 do. Kind of reminds me of that bit from Buck Rogers, where he's trying to teach the band how rock and roll is.
Yeah.
Let yourself go. Getting laid or riding a bike.
Or getting laid while riding a bike.
Ouch.
Oh, yeah, that could be how.
Talk about having a balance.
Ellen Barkin reminds CK of Natalie Dormer. There's something in that. I kind of get that.
Yeah, I know what he's doing.
It's in the eyes, I think.
Eyes and face shape.
And boobs. See, now this is a piece that comes from that was preserved on the Lost tapes. This isn't a release version. This is just them playing around.
Yeah, just jamming.
Now we know just how I feel. Get in there!
I said Tom Berenger doesn't know how to really play.
I figured.
But that Mitchell Lawrence learned how to play bass for this film.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Or at least enough that he didn't embarrass himself.
I'm so glad you told me that that's the sax player from the Beaver Brown Band, because I always was like, this has got to be a real sax player, because his fingering is spot on.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts! Oh, that transition hurts!
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, Tom Berenger's feeling the same way.
And you could tell they had him, like, I'm not
playing
gonna say
up the whole
messed
lounge
up,
singer thing, yeah.
doing it, but he was, like, doing things like he said, oh yeah, like, ooh yeah. Like, just changing just enough to make a purist cringe.
CK, I'm sorry, I don't know about Gotham. You're a little bit newer to my content, but after Smallville, when the Arrowverse started, I dropped out because it wasn't a spawn from Smallville, so I didn't catch any of that stuff.
I know who he's talking about. The girl that played Batgirl in there.
Okay,
not Batgirl, Catwoman. Or
okay.
when she was young, yeah.
Sure.
Selena.
Oh, Wild Summer Nights. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Must be cool to have like a gig like that every night.
Well, yeah, I mean, from a certain point of view, but at the same time, it is taxing.
Yeah. But it gives you a chance to play around with lyrics, songs,
Yeah.
arrangements.
I mean, there is the performance, right? I mean, you love that. The audience doing the music you love and receiving that, that response from it, that positive reinforcement. But there's so much work that goes into setting up and late nights and rehearsals, and I think people don't realize how much work goes into stuff like that. Boy, he had some guns.
Always wish I was able to twist drumsticks like that.
It's not as difficult as you think. It's a little bit of an optical illusion.
Yeah. Yeah, long-fronting superhero RPG on Earth. Yeah, pretty, but unusual.
That's what I was referring to when I was saying moderately novel.
I like that. I like that a slight oddness, something that stands out.
That scene where she turns around and starts singing the backing vocals.
Mm-hmm.
I like that so much because it forces you to be aware of that backing vocal that you might not pay attention to otherwise, And you see their faces, and it's like you realize just how much they love the music they're playing,
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the audience, and you just see their response to it,
Yeah, they're into it.
Oh, that sax. Oh, yes!
I can remember, I don't know where I heard it from, but it was someone was commenting when someone's singing and everyone's dancing.
Yeah.
They're not listening. They're just going off of the beat. They're not listening to the actual song.
Yeah.
But you have the people here are just kind of like they're swaying, but they're watching.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to that piano. It's just so mournful,
Mm-hmm.
It's why he gets a solo. Focus on it. Look at Eddie, right? He
feels
he's
it.
into it too, yeah. Okay, take care, Evelyn. Thanks so much for being here. I know you know this film.
Mm-hmm. And Wendell says nothing in the entire film.
Never really thought about that, but that look
Yep.
is everything.
Yeah, he has no lines. At least that's what I read. I gotta. Dun dun dun.
This song is on the soundtrack, yeah. That whole flick your bick kind of thing is kind of that's missing now because so many people don't smoke anymore.
One person was holding up a match. That means that they couldn't hold it for very long.
True.
They're doing their cell phones now on with the light.
Oh, are they? Yeah, that makes sense. Or because I used to pick up the candle that was in the middle of the table, you know. Oof. Yup. Where have I seen him before? I've seen him in a lot of other things too, right?
Ooh, Mitchell Lawrence.
Yeah.
Matthew Lawrence. He has a brother named Mitchell, I believe.
He's been in a bunch of things.
Yeah. 30-something.
A lot of TV appearances that, I probably would have known him from. Sure. St. Elmo's Fire. Oh, God. I am gonna do a rewatch of St. Elmo's Fire. Gonna. Definitely.
I could see a new horizon.
Yeah. John Parr.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, nice slice.
Oh, I'm hoping to have some pizza tomorrow.
I might do that myself. I got a frozen one, but it's a good frozen one.
Yeah. I feel there's a duality here. Cover band isn't good, but in the end, they seem to genuinely love Eddie. If they remade this, it'd be one-sided and ham-fisted. Yeah, you're kind of right there, CK.
So are they flashbacking and then going to...
Yeah, current day.
Okay, because that's where I was getting confused. Going, wait, we just saw Eddie, but this guy's talking about him like he's not around anymore.
Yeah, it's non-linear, and you're seeing a lot of... So you come into this not knowing who Eddie Wilson is and what his history is. This is supposed to be after his death. You got an investigative reporter trying to do a biopic piece on him and interview the band members, and the band members are all doing their,
well, she actually thinks he might still be alive because they never did find the body.
Right.
It's very much she's very much doing that.
Hey, Richard Weston, how you doing, Michael?
Get out of here! You've literally been here 69 minutes. Or no, you're saying you just got here. Either way. I'm just thinking after seeing your Patreon video today, you could always use my videos if you want to, well, okay, yeah, my videos would be 2 hours. I can't see you working out for 2 hours. You'd be dead by the end of it. But it's a possibility. So yeah, if you're just joining us, we're watching Eddie and the Cruisers. Just jumped in here. The 60-minute run. Well, no, but you know what? If you want to jump into the film where we're at, the link's at the top of the chat. we're watching Eddie and the Cruisers, part one of a 2-night special event. Second part will be on Big Al's channel tomorrow. We'll be watching Eddie 2, or Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives.
Spoiler.
Yeah, well, I think Michael probably already knows. Michael and I tend to chew a lot of the same ground, historically speaking.
Yeah, Michael said, nah, I saw that, I jumped in at 69 minutes runtime.
I dig it. No problem. And, you know, it's not just about Eddie, right? It's about every member of the band. They all have a story to tell, and they're all coming from a different place. They all have a different motivation, too. You kind of see that, too, when you see where they are at the current stage of their lives. I love that Bel Air, though, man. I just...
Yeah, that is a sweet car.
There are 4 cars, and Netter knows this. There are 4 cars that I want if I, hit the lottery or something, right? First would be a 57 Chevy Bel Air. Second would be a... is it 63 Corvette?
Nice.
Yeah, I probably would want a 79 Corvette Stingray. And, yeah, I would want an 89 Batmobile. And I know a place that can make it up for me. And then I would have to just kind of love the DeLorean vicariously through Michael French.
I had a DeLorean. The electrical system is totally shot because it sat on a dock for a year.
I know that, sweetie, but now you can get those completely replaced. They have these whole kits where you can rebuild the whole thing.
You know, if I had multi-million dollars, I would love to get a Mach 5.
Oh, yeah, if you're going to build a custom one, yeah. And I would build that on a Corvette chassis, yeah. Look, I'm impressed that there is a company out there that produces all the replacement parts for this otherwise defunct, car company. That's pretty impressive. I mean, to this day, you can actually buy, I guess you'd call them repro DeLoreans. And I'm going to have to go back to some of your old videos, man, and find, because I'd love to know if you have an original or a, remanufactured, or, I'd love to find out more about the DeLorean you have.
Here's a fun fact. You could fit 3 grown adults and 2 children ages 6 and 7 in a DeLorean.
I mean, you're talking to somebody who gauges the cars he buys on how many bodies you can fit in the trunk. Did I just say that out loud on YouTube? Oops.
We can fit at least 3 bodies in our trunk.
That's true.
Yeah, married to an Italian. We think of these things.
So sounds like you're speaking from experience there, Netter.
Just a little.
Let's face it, Michael, I was saying, if I won the lottery. So, yeah, it is, disposable income, right? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong movie.
I remember being in college, we had a bonfire, and it scorched the grass in the back courtyard. It was bare there for years.
Netter and I went with some friends to see 4th of July. They were setting off the fireworks. And they were setting off the fireworks from an island out in this lake. So, you'd be sitting on the shore of the lake and you'd see the And then all of a sudden, after there were no more fireworks going off for a while, all of a sudden we started to see light coming from the island. Then it became flames. And then things started exploding. We're like, oh, maybe we should move back.
Lots of smoke.
Lots of smoke. Yeah.
Some people jumping into the water.
Uh-oh, here
we
we go.
The island on fire.
Yeah. And he's just watching. He's just watching. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into you said this was based on a novel. Now I got to read that. I mean, I had all these years. I had no idea.
Yeah, Eddie and the Cruisers, the early years.
Right.
And you can't say Eddie and the Cruisers without having a Brooklyn accent.
Or Jersey accent,
Or
at
Jersey
least.
accent.
Yeah.
You know.
Uh-oh. Lecture halls. And you got the cruises for the nasty stuff. Who knows how to? Wild summer nights. Oh, sorry. Wrong song.
I'll say Tom Berenger pretending to play the piano is kind of funny because he doesn't look like he has rhythm.
Yeah, exactly. And see, this brings back, a story my mom told me about Louie Louie and the misunderstood lyrics and so forth and misattribution and whatnot. And I listened to the lyrics of this song and I'm like, 1963, I could see some people mistaking the intent of Down on My Knees.
Yeah.
Like the nuns at your school not knowing what sugar walls were?
Oh, sugar walls, yeah. Yeah, that's a whole different story I'll have to tell you about sometime. A song written by Prince, as I recall, which kind of explains a lot.
A lot of innuendo and double entendre, a lot.
Not very thinly veiled either.
Or sometimes you just blatantly say it.
Yup. I knew a girl named Nikki. Yeah. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't introduce the piano player, did he?
Yeah, you forgot somebody, see? Yeah, the whole band's kind of like, whoa, what's this about?
Yeah, what's that all about?
Well, he saw him kissing what he thought was his girl.
There is a. Let me find. There is a reference about that. See if I can find it.
I thought there was some place smoking in the boys' room.
Very similar, yeah.
Eddie calls Frank Toby Tyler and identifies him as a runaway who joins the circus to hang out with the freaks and clowns. Toby Tyler, or 10 Weeks with a Circus, 1960, is a story about a runaway who does exactly as Eddie said.
Wow, interesting. That's a great transition from the flashback.
Mm-hmm.
It's like makes it very clear that he's telling this story, right? Yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was ambiguous. I mean, it's like I think he thought there was something there, but maybe she didn't. It was never so overt that you could say that. The only important fact is he thought they were together and he got jealous.
Mm-hmm. I think it was one of the, like, Eddie felt like she was his girl, but she didn't feel that appreciated because of all his attention to the band and music.
Yeah, exactly.
And then along comes Frank, and
I mean, at this point in the story, if you don't know, that's what somebody is looking for, is those tapes of Seasons in Hell.
it would be worth a fortune.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%, which was kind of the impetus for me to start this the Friday night last call. That was my inspiration, was that kind of pub experience, hanging out, having drinks, listening to music, talking, whatever. Yeah. When I saw, they did that for a brief time. They did that 80s show. Now they're doing that 90s show. I'm like, oh my God.
I haven't seen a single episode of it.
I just feel so old that stuff is considered retro now.
I actually haven't seen any of that 80s show either.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't really connected to that 70s show. That 90s show, though, is.
Oh, sorry.
I just noticed that the Playboy symbol up at the top of that tower there. Don't know why that's there. Oh. Yeah.
Every bad thing you can do.
Yep. You see the rubber tube there, and it's like, no, that is not good. Yeah.
High or dead?
Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Love that sax, though.
Just not the same.
No. This is about the best scene in the movie.
Mm.
Yeah. That's another track that they put onto the Lost Tapes. That's tough. And I love how the band kind of is like, okay, let's
Yep.
keep going. Oh. Yeah. He had a heart attack.
Well, on top of the drugs and the alcohol.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. You see everybody's eyes
Yeah.
glassed up.
And you hear her voice cracking, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Yeah, that's rough.
That's a gut punch.
Yeah. And then here she is all these years later. See, this is what I'm telling you. They did a great job with the makeup on these people.
Mm-hmm. And it's makeup like this that doesn't get the credit.
Yeah.
Because yeah, everybody, you talk about all the sci-fi stuff and
right
prosthetics, but it's the little tricks,
the subtleness. Yeah.
Right. I mean, she literally looks 20 years older.
Yes.
Well, it's whether she's got her makeup and the way she's doing her hair.
Her hair yeah, it all it all has an impact.
Oh, those crazy kids.
And the music that's playing is still Tender Years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, he knows what it is. He just doesn't know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but who's got those old tapes?
No, yeah, that's kind of how these streams go, CK. Part of me feels like, I've seen the film before, so I know it. I kind of expect everyone to, but I know that's not really the case. My hope, though, is that you enjoy watching it with us, and maybe then you go back and you rewatch it yourself,
Mm-hmm.
And then you understand the time travel a little bit better.
Yeah. And then it's important that this song has a very different kind of sound. Very out of its time. Wouldn't have worked in 63, right? So you kind of understand why Season in Hell didn't work.
Right.
Why why it didn't sell then.
The proverbial ahead of its time.
Right. See, I don't really know from personal experience the music industry, but I honestly believe this is probably pretty accurate.
Oops. Oh yeah, it's you hear stories about record producers just not liking what they're hearing from the artist.
Yeah. Well, this must be true about the entire entertainment industry, because we talk about it with movies and TV. These studios getting involved in things they really don't understand. One of the channels that I was listening to was talking about how somebody, when they were doing the Green Lantern movie or something like that. I was like, well, does it have to be a ring? Yeah, it's got to be a ring. It's Green Lantern. It's an interesting point that he makes, right? He could be misattributing it because, it's something that happened, at the same time when he came along. But on the other side, this is who Eddie is.
Yeah, it's misplaced anger.
But I can see the attribution because it's like you came and you encouraged this in him, Yeah, it was already there, but you came along and you were another voice pushing him to help him with this.
That steering wheel is huge.
Yeah, and thin. There was just this different feel back then.
Yeah, I've driven a few cars with that thin thing. It just feels weird. I like this instrumental.
Yeah.
Bow, wow. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah. Right? Oops.
I like that eerie kind of
Oh, yeah.
feeling they give this scene.
Do you hear that guitar riff?
Yeah.
Yep. Deleted Scene says, the secret Streets of Fire sequel, only Cody is the rock star. This is almost like a reprise for Season in Hell. And in a way, this is like his Inferno, right? This is... kind of makes you wonder why the lights are on. Who's running the electricity? And I feel like this is already the setup for the second film. Mm-hmm. Because this is him realizing what the record industry is and wanting to get away from it. Honestly, this takes on a whole different aspect when you look back on, for example, Prince and what he went through, you know? I mean, this is almost like Prince's story, right? Or Tom Petty. Tom Petty went through the exact same thing with the record companies and trying to get away from them to do his own thing. I mean, and that is perfectly timed music, right? The tinkling bells like broken glass. And You Could Have It All by Empire of Dirt. Yeah. Johnny Cash.
You know, she's better looking there than she was the younger scenes.
I can see that, yeah.
I think it's the makeup.
Yep. I kind of wasn't joking when I said unraveling a mystery, you know?
Oh, so it's the place that was all lit up before.
Yeah. I mean, this is what, 20 years on or whatever.
You've got the coyotes howling, giving that creepy feel.
Yep, yep. And I mean, it's the same set, right? But even this looks like, you know, time has passed. Oh, and those headlights go on there.
They're being watched.
Well, if you're going to, you know, hang out in front of somebody's house, if you're going to, you know, ransack some places, yeah, you're probably going to be following them too, you know?
This almost sounds like Pat Benatar.
Well, yeah, there's the score and there's the soundtrack, you know? Do you still have a player for that style of tape, Steven? I mean, if I had, like, for example, 8-track tapes, I would have no way to listen to them. Isn't that where Michael Myers lives? Just joking. A similar style house, but that's not.
I know, they passed the gas station and I'm thinking, oh, Twin Peaks. That's, what's his name's place?
Yeah.
Big Ed's.
Big Ed's Gas Farm, right.
So had he been kissing her
Yes.
way back then? Oh.
Yeah, and Eddie was watching.
So then why is he mad at him and not at her?
Well, like I said, did he really have any claim to her, right? Or as my mom always said, if there's not a ring, then, you don't...
Like it, then you better put a ring on.
Yeah, well, that was years before that song, but yes, absolutely.
And they didn't have caller ID back then.
That's true. It's really getting to her,
She's going a little insane.
Well, she's basically being gaslit.
Yeah.
Is it Eddie?
So she's going a little nuts.
Yeah, and I kind of don't blame him for how he's reacting, but I'm not sure this is the best thing to be doing. It's like, you'd want to stay and be like, make sure she's okay, Huh. So he pulls into the barn across the way? Okay. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
He's hiding his cars to see if Eddie shows up.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Somebody's coming. Okay, so he is kind of keeping an eye on her. Maybe I should say, no, it'll be fine. Yeah, exactly. And that's definitely Michael Pere's voice. But it ain't Eddie.
Oh, him again, harder.
Yeah. I mean, this guy just plays the same character over and over again, doesn't he? So you really do have I mean, not all of them, but like him and they're living in the past, you know, right? Some of them just couldn't move on. Yeah, why not? Ron Howard is to Clint Howard as Tom Cruise is to this guy.
I was thinking he looks a lot like Tom Cruise.
I guess, yeah. I see it, yeah.
But in Clint Howard's defense, great guy.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome guy. Awesome dude. Spent a lot of time chatting with him one day.
Yeah, that's what Tom Connors has said, too.
And he gave me a donut on a Sunday morning.
Okay.
Hey, you give me a donut? You're okay in my book.
Now, the way he delivers that line, you'd think he'd be a little bit more excited. He seems like he's trying to convince himself.
It's like bittersweet.
Yeah. And I see it from their point of view, too. It's like, as long as the music gets out there. I think that's what they're thinking, right?
R-O-C-K in the USA.
Yeah.
All those songs sound the same back then.
I love the way they ended this movie.
Yeah, me too. That's the picture off the album cover.
Mm-hmm.
Dude needs to shave his pits.
And then they fade to black and you see...
Yeah.
Those eyes.
Watch this, though. That was
a great way to end this film.
Yup.
Eddie lives.
Yep. And this riff here, haven't gotten to hear it through. They kept leading up to it, never getting here. This is the way you end the movie, with this riff. You finally let the song end.
Based on the novel by P.F. Clue. I keep wanting to say Flug because of P.F. Turning around.
This is the riff that's been going through my head all week leading up to this. I had these 3 albums on cassette tape, and I listened to them all through high school.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I literally would bring them to school, and I'd listen to them over and over and over again. Oh, that's great. And you're right, this is the perfect ending, but it's also the perfect lead into a part 2.
That is true.
Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives. I say we pick this up again tomorrow night. What do you say, Big Al?
I think that's a darn good idea. And you know what?
How about at your place tomorrow night?
Let's do it at my place at Films with Friends on Big Al Presents.
I'm all for that. So make sure you guys...
Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives. The story continues. Will Eddie make himself known to the public?
Yes, it absolutely is. I mean, if you enjoyed this, you'll enjoy the part 2. You really will.
Yeah.
I mean, it's again. I mean, if you didn't, that one I don't think did very well either, did it? The second movie.
Oh no, it did terrible actually.
They just did not promote it.
They didn't.
But
I just don't think they really knew what to do with them.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. But yeah, it's really is good. The soundtrack is every bit as good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll pick this up tomorrow night over on Big Al Presents. So that is
you meet some new characters and a few of the old favorites.
So we've seen the rest of the band trying to some of them trying to keep the memories alive, trying to relive those glory years, and some others like trying to move on. Now we'll get to see an artist who was way ahead of his time, maybe reinserting himself into the time he probably needed to be putting out an album like Season in Hell, So,
but he starts out as just an average Joe putting a band together to see if he can be good again. I say average Joe because that's a play on what he calls himself.
Yeah, exactly right.
We're putting the band back together.
Well, that's just it. How do you put the band back together? You don't.
You don't.
You gotta start from scratch,
You find
new.
You put. He finds people who could play his music.
Yep.
And that's basically what he does. Is he's trying to find people to fulfill his vision.
Exactly. Which is kind of the way it should be, right? It's.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like I said, we talked about the temperamental artist, or when it comes to a musical artist, and every pitch, every tone, every riff, it has to be right. It's the sounds are their paints.
Yep.
And so it has to make the picture that he is envisioning.
Yep.
And that's what he tries to do. He just comes out with a new set of paints and brushes and seeing what happens tomorrow.
And honestly, watching this movie, I mentioned it earlier in the stream, and I would say I would encourage y'all, if you are into this insight into a band, into an artist, and music, if you love older bands and bands that recorded on tape in analog and stuff like that, I would encourage you go check out the YouTube channel Professor of Rock. He has some great interviews, he does some great research, and I like his hat. So go check out Professor of Rock. But please, if you enjoyed tonight and you're available tomorrow night, come on back over at Big Al's place tomorrow night, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. We will watch the second one. We'll do this all over again. See this whole world turning around. So that will be tomorrow night. Sunday night, a little bit earlier, 8 Central, 9 Eastern, we will be over on that Slackers channel, Aged Boomer, where we'll be doing Geeky Geezers, bringing you the week's geeky news, or at least the news that Aged Boomer and I thought was interesting and important, and hopefully with a different perspective and slant than you got on some of the other channels. Do you know anything about Monday night, Big Al? Birdman sighting?
No, and there's no. There may be. I'm sure he's going to come out with something in the next couple of days because he was enjoying a concert in Chicago. He was close to you guys.
Yep.
Tonight, and he did send me a message during the film. Basically, he said concert did not suck. So that's good.
Okay, good. Good.
That's Birdman's way of saying he's probably pretty happy about what he heard tonight. But him and Eric Woods got together and enjoyed the concert. They put out a little video earlier today.
Yep, I saw
of
that.
them running on the Untouchables stairs.
I'll tell you, that was it was kind of nice to see that, because it's like somebody kind of reliving the excitement I had as a kid, because I saw that back when the Untouchables first came out. I went downtown, I saw that, I was all excited about it, got into all the history of it, and then after I got older, got married, and worked downtown, I literally went through there every single day in my commute. You start to take it for granted. It's like I don't even think about it anymore. So it was kind of nice to see that. He did hit me up, and he was like, hey, you want to come to the concert? And I'm like, dude, go with God and be safe, but I don't go into the city anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, and I also, so I'm not sure if he's going to put it out. I don't know if he's got a Batman show or not planned. I think there's going to be a film, but I don't believe it has been selected yet. So stay tuned, basically.
Yep. And I actually, I'm trying to squeeze other things into the rotation, and I totally jumped over some new stuff that's happening. So Sunday, before Geeky Geezers, Deleted Scenes, what do we have going on then? I completely forgot. Deleted Scenes is now doing a live stream on Sundays.
What's it called? Unscripted?
Unscripted, absolutely. I'm forgetting the time, though. If we start at 8 Central, I think he's starting at 6 Central, 7 Central? I forget.
I do want to say I didn't see his entire review of John Wick 4, but I did see like the first little bit of it.
Everybody's going on about it.
I watched it tonight.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay. Save it for the review. I don't want to take any wind out of your sails or whatever. I want you to get your video out. But that sounds like in keeping with everything I've heard from everybody else. So definitely check out Deleted Scenes. He's dropping all these links for everybody. Honor him with a like and subscribe, and check out his unscripted before Geeky Geezers on Sunday. So I'm unaware of anything that's going on Tuesday, but I'll find out for sure. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Wednesday. Did you say anything about Wednesday for Birdman?
If there is a film, it hasn't been chosen
It hasn't been announced yet. Okay.
So keep tuned. Don't know.
Yep.
Had a lot of fun doing Black Sunday with him and Boomer last week. That was fun.
Yep. I heard some good things. And Deleted Scenes is saying that he'll probably be covering John Wick 4 on Sunday. Disney, basically a week in review. And don't feel like you have to cover all of it for Disney, because you better believe that we're going to get into it on Sunday too. What was it? Was it when I was on Netter's channel? I said, we were going through all of this, and somebody, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who, dropped a note, was like, yeah, it's not like anything's really going on in the news, in geek news. It's not like there's anything out of Disney or anything like that. Like, yeah, you're funny. But, yeah. But speaking of Netter, and we are up to Thursday. Thursday, what are we doing on Thursday, Netter?
We are having my first live guest host. Well, besides from Troy, who's always live.
Yeah, I'm just kind of the guy in the background, helping keep the hamster on the wheel. But
yeah, my first guest host will be everybody's favorite Blue Wrench, Deleted Scenes.
yeah,
He'll be coming on to talk about his channel and what he's been up to.
yep. You already got the link up, or no?
I
Not yet.
was putting that up.
Okay.
It'll be up within the next 10-15 minutes.
Okay, fair enough. And so that brings us around to next Friday, and I swear I've already forgotten what the next stream is, so let me just go to my channel real quick. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Here on my channel, we will be, Ryan Roger Athe returns. This is someone who inspired me a great deal. Last summer actually, he did a Rising Star video for me. He's done one for Big Al as well.
I'm a rising star.
Yeah, you're a rising star. And then he invited me to guest on his Reality Based, where he interviewed me, and we talked about all kinds of stuff. Definitely check out his channel to see more of that. I have a playlist of all my guest appearances, so you'll find my appearances on his channel there, as well as all of my appearances on Big Al and all of my appearances on Netter's Network. You'll find those in my guest appearances playlist. And that brings us around to next Saturday, which is Netter's Week, where we will be watching. Do you remember Netter? Chappie.
Robots.
Chappie. Yeah.
Awesome.
So from rockers to robots we go. Okay. So that's fair. So yeah, I deleted scenes like, yeah, present. And then he drops Ryan Roger Athe's link too. So make sure you subscribe to him so that you can say when you see him next Friday, hey, I'm already subscribed to you, man. But anyway, yeah. So I'm not gonna do the whole what'd you think of the movie? We'll talk more tomorrow as we basically do part 2 of this same stream. So I'm just going to ask you, Big Al, any last words?
I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight as we have started this musical adventure with Eddie Wilson. And please join us tomorrow night to find out what happens when Eddie lives.
Yep. You saw the end of the movie. You know he's still out there. What happens after that? Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow night. And Netter of Netter's Network, whom I hope everybody who's still listening and listens in the future is subscribed to. What are your last words for tonight?
Well, you know what I always say. We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fine. But it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat. You're dropping your questions and comments, your trivia, you're just being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or even continents in some cases. It feels more like we're all sitting in the same room together. We're enjoying each other's company, just hanging out and having a good time. Excuse me. And I always say that you guys aren't just our friends, you're our family.
Yeah.
And we love you guys. We do appreciate you being here. And we'll see you next time.
I super appreciate you guys. I really do. Ditto everything Netter said, absolutely. And all the comments you guys are dropping. You guys encourage me so much. I wouldn't do it if you guys didn't enjoy what I was doing and keep coming to hang out with us. I super appreciate every single one of you, and hope to see you tomorrow night. Take care, everyone.
Fireball.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.
That was great! Screwed that up real good.
Fireball!
Fireball! Oh well. It happens. We started out a little bit fuzzy and we end the night a little bit fuzzy. We'll be better tomorrow. Anyway, you doing okay, Al?
Oh, I sure am. We're still live.
Are we? I didn't end the stream.
You did not end the stream.
Gosh, and I'm completely sober. Well, anyway, thanks, guys. I'm just going to end this thing like an old boomer. Take care, everyone.
It's like